What's up, guys? Welcome back to Hard Rock Garage. Back on the 72 C20. A lot more rust work to do. So let's get the cutting and banging and grinding to all this. This is actually something I cannot stand doing, but got to be done. So let's get started. So I finally got it up on the cart. That's working out great. So I'm getting back over here where I cut off months ago and just going to piece everything back together. Honestly, I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and finish this side and get it squared up and know that I'm doing it correctly since I'm a little rusty. Actually, I'm as bad as that. I'm very rusty. So I want to get this down pat and get this side done and looking good. That way I can show you guys how it's actually done, because we got to go over to the other side and do the same thing. It's in at least as bad a shape as this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this side done and then get a little more explanatory on the other side for you. Well, here we are several hours in now. Got the cab quarter in, and I got the rocker panel in, the outer rocker panel. I used some self-tappers to kind of line it up where I wanted it. Over here, months and months ago, I got way overzealous, and I just threw that new cab corner up there and marked it and cut out, and that's why I've got a gap. So I'll be getting some wire hangers or whatever to fill that in. And pretty well got it all squared up, tacked in. That's all good to go. We got this one squared up and tacked in. So next is going to be our inner rocker and the floor patch here. And then I'm going to have to start the other side, unfortunately, but I'm going to show you guys a lot more on that. I wanted to kind of get my bearings back on this one and see what I'm looking at before I kept stopping and starting the camera and all that mess. So I'll finish this up, and then I'll bring you guys in on the other side, and we'll do the outer rocker, the cab corner, the inner rocker, and the floor patching that it needs. It's pretty bad over there. I still haven't cleaned all the dirt out of here, but overall, this is it looks about as good as I can do, probably. It's been a long time since I did any of this thinner metal on cars, so still getting used to how that welder is. I think my welder is just worn out. It does really good, then it stops, and it does good and stops. So the combination of that and me not being the best welder in the world kind of creates some crappy, shoddy looking work, but I can clean it up. It's just going to take more time. You know, I'm not an expert, so it's going to take me 2-3 times as long as it takes somebody that does it normally or someone that's a good welder, but that's all right. We'll get it all done, and it's going to look pretty sharp when it's done. So let's do a quick sound check. Sound check. Got to get this muffled a little more where it's not just blaring at you. Now you can really see what I'm talking about here. Not much left of that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to leave this cab corner for now this time and get these old factory spot welds either drilled out or get them grinded down or grind them down or however you say that, and pull the bolts out of the back here. There's some bolts in the bottom on the back side. Get those undone. Try to just get that rocker knocked out where we're not doing a bunch of excessive unnecessary cutting like I did on the other side. Yeah, then we'll assess how it looks. See if we can get these little screws out. They probably just break out of here, to be honest with you. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. I'll drill these out, either drill or grind them, probably drill them, and get those bolts out of the bottom, like I said. Drill those out probably, and then it's going to be a lot of beating and banging and prying with a hammer. So I'll show you as much as I can. I'll also kind of speed it up where we're not dicking around with just that all day. So let's get after it. I don't know the sizes, y'all. They're just in there, okay? Don't judge. Y'all don't worry about that sound. Just tornado siren. No big deal. This is Oklahoma. All right. Rockers are unbolted, so now what we got to work on is just basically peeling off all these spots here. There's another spot weld I need to get. We're just going to break this away from the actual cab structure itself and just break them off. I say that like it's going to be easy. It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. There's some spot welds up there and all that I'll get to. You've got on the front of your rocker, there's spot welds here, there, up here on the cab pillar. There's some right back here. I'm seeing 6 or so, a couple there. So there's quite a few. I mean, some people just cut it, and on the other side, I just started tearing it apart, and it kind of bent things up, but it was so torn up, I just ripped into it. We're trying to actually do this one right, and that's kind of why I had you guys join me on this one, not the other one, because the other one was an absolute shit show. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just start tearing these things apart. I'll speed you guys up as we go and see how it turns out. We're just going to try to, flathead screwdriver, a pry bar, anything you got to get inside here. You tap it in with a hammer, whatever. We get in between these seams here. We're going to break that rocker away. On the inside, it's already broke away from your cab support. That's what those bolts were. And that breaks it away from the inner rocker, which is welded up to your outer. It's a spot where you can just peel it off. Having those drilled out is what's working here. Come on, turn down. Whoa, too much. Slow down, easy. Okay. See where I drilled these out? That's where it was tacked to the inside structure here. So when you drill those out, what's left of it should just pop off. Should. I'm sure there's a couple I didn't get all the way, which is fine. Whoa. See them just kind of breaking free as we go along here. This front rocker apart. Front rocker, this front piece of the outer rocker. Sorry, I got to get my terminology right. All right, we're pretty well broke free. And then let's come right here. Yes, so see, all right here, this is you can get these grommets too if you need, but we'll break this apart. Boom. Let's go. All right. Now, what do y'all think about that? Get in here and get you some of this. There's 50 years of Oklahoma back roads. It was on it for 30. That is exactly what rusts everything out in Oklahoma. That red clay, those dirty roads, these old trucks were not built all sealed up like a lot of the newer ones are, so that dirt gets in everywhere, obviously. It just sits in there and it just eats at it. That's how my dad taught me washing underneath the washing underneath your truck, because all that stuff gets up in here and it just sits there and rusts on it. So he'd have me wash underneath his work trucks. Mainly so he didn't have to do it, but you know, he was teaching me a lesson. You've left me no choice here. Stick. There we go. Look at this beautiful piece of work here. Huh? You like that? Panels. Your inner is going to go in here like so. The inside there. Your outer, of course, right where you don't really see the inner, but you see that outer. So it's just going to come right up to your factory position here. And you know, you're going to have to square some, because once you break that apart, that cab could flex and move. And then plus, all the years of it being rusted like that, there's no telling how far out of whack it was getting. So before we put those rockers in, I want to see how much of this we need to use. So as you can see, I showed you earlier, this one's got some damage. It's bent back. Hammer that back in. But this one is not near as rusted as that one was. That one was horrendous. This one's got it really bad right here. So when you get these, you don't have to use every single square millimeter of these things. I mean, you can just cut out what you need. That's what they're for. I think all I'm going to do with this one, because it's in such good shape, I'm going to go ahead and make a cut right here and leave our factory seam on it, and make a cut here across here. And then I'm going to open that up to get all this crap out and just really look at it, because you can kind of see part of your inner rocker in there too that's left in the cab support. So I'm going to do that. I'll probably just hammer this in because it's destroyed anyway. We'll cut it off later and use a part of that. But for now, I'm going to make this cut right here. And it'll be precision, trust me. Not really. But I'm going to make this cut here and try to keep it all in one piece to kind of help me cut that out. We'll end up using more of it because it's a good idea to at least have a body line to go off of. So if you're going to use this body line here, you come down an inch, you can do the same on your cab corner and then kind of piece and fit it in here. On the other side, I explained in the last video, I put this thing up here basically, man, like a jackass, made a mark and just cut it off. And now I've got a decent gap that I have to fill on this part of it. I got the inside good, but right here I've got to fill it in. I'm going to get some wire hanger and do an old school, I don't have a TIG welder type welding on it. So I'm just going to start with this cut here, see where we land. What do you know? Is that a dead mouse? No, that's just a bunch of dirt clog. Okay, let's see if we are anywhere near correct on this. They're just those little, people always ask, I don't even remember what I paid for them, but you get them at Harbor Freight. You just slide this in between your two pieces of metal that you just did, put this in on the back side, tighten it up with a wing nut. Okay, so audio issues. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of throw in what I'm telling you here. Well, we've done a bunch of work here, a lot of work to go here, a lot of work to go there. There's some rust under here we still need to fix. I ain't worried too much about it. We got to get the floor, the other side of the floor, this part of the floor, that part of the floor, and some more floor. And right up here, there's some spots in the floor. So we're just gonna, move forward and fix the floor. Anyway, now that we've got the rest of it tacked up, it's looking pretty good. We're gonna move forward with everything else. We've got some sound mat that's gonna go in. We got a lot of work to do to this thing. And we're gonna move on to the next step. So next episode is gonna be floor. Do some floor patch, see if we got any type of seal we wanna use, maybe some of the sound mat, not really sure yet, but sure appreciate you guys watching. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. Like the videos, share them, and we appreciate you watching. We will see you guys next time.